In this video, I'm going to teach you how to wrap your tree with energy-efficient solar Christmas lights. Now, the most important thing, if you want your tree to look like it's professionally wrapped, is planning it out. You want to plan out and imagine what it's going to look like at night when the lights are turned on. So in this tree, there's lots of choices, right? So let's say I have 4 strands and I'm going to go up and down in 4 different places. What you want to first do is choose the outermost branches first. So in this case, over here, I'm going to do one here. Then I have another one. I'm going to choose this trunk right here in the middle. Then I'm going to use this one. I think this will look good because it's kind of off a little bit more to the right. And then I'm going to go as far as I can to the outside. So I'm going to light up these branches over here to give the tree a really wide, dense effect with lots of lights. And each strand, it's pretty long. It's about 35 feet. So you're going to be able to go up and down at least once or twice in each area to really give it a good fullness. Now you want to wrap your lights up, in a ball like this before you get started to make it easy as you're wrapping the tree. You also want to plan out where you're going to put your solar panel where it's going to get the most sunlight during the day. So if you have other trees in the near area that might put some shade on the tree that you're wrapping, then you're going to want to put your panel kind of further away. And you have a lead wire that will give you some distance so that you can put it remotely. Now, I already got started on this tree, and what I want to show you is that you want to space out evenly as you're wrapping up the tree in a diagonal fashion. You don't want to go, parallel to the ground. You want it to kind of be at an angle to have an interesting look. So it's wrapping as you go up. Try to make the distance, like a hand distance apart. You also don't want to wrap too tightly because if it rains, the tree branches will expand with water and that will put tension on the cable and might cause damage. So I just make it kind of lightly wound around. So in this case, I went up this branch right here and I made it up to as high as I could reach without a ladder. So I could either decide to keep going or come back down and then go ahead and try to grab this branch right here, which is what I'm going to do. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to start wrapping my tree at the bottom. I want to make sure that you're spacing the wrapping the same. In other words, don't be narrow and then wide and then narrow and then wide. To make it look professional, you want it to be consistent. About a hand's width is a good width to space it. So I'm going to start at the bottom. And you see that it's about a hand's distance. Don't make it too tight because if it rains, the tree trunk will expand a little bit and might put some strain on the wiring. Now right about here, I can choose now what I'm going to do here. What you don't want to do is wrap a whole bunch together like this. That's just going to look really bad at night when the lights are shining. So what you do want to do is here I'm going to choose to go out this way. So you want to get started as close to the bottom as possible to show how the branch will get started right there. So now we're at the next place where we have a decision to make. We could either go this way or we could go this way. And I'm going to choose to go this way to take it all the way to the top. Okay, so now as you're coming down, what you don't want to do is crisscross the cables. You want the cables going in the same diagonal direction. So you kind of have to plan out when you're going to turn around and come down that they don't crisscross. So I went around the top, and do you see here how I'm going around, but they're not crisscrossing like that? I don't know if you can see that if you zoom in. Okay, so just in the same fashion. So that's why it's a good idea. Actually, I could have even done it a little wider, knowing that I was going to come back down and take up and make up the space in between the 2 wires coming up, if that makes sense. So I'm going to wrap it coming down, not crisscrossing. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to come down and then come back up on this side. And I hope I have enough. So some of it's just judgment, right? Just judge the lengths. And if you don't get it right the first time, no big deal. Unwrap it and start over again so that you can get it just how you like it. So do you see what I mean? If it's not in a ball, it's kind of a pain to kind of pull it through. So let me ball this back up just to save some time. And what's great about these plastic LED bulbs is you don't have to worry about them breaking like you do with the, old-fashioned iridescent bulbs. Is they're so fragile and they can break. You don't have to worry about these. You can just work with them really aggressively and they're fine. Okay, so now it's tempting to just kind of go around like this. But trust me, you don't want to do that because this space is going to look really bad at night. Okay, so you want to take it all the way down, as far down as you can. And that's when you want to start and go onto the new branch. So here you have a choice. I'm going to go this way to have some branching coming out to the front, right? So we already had this angle and now I want this angle. And just think about how it's going to look at night, when you decide how you're going to wrap your lights. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just have fun with it.